Learn German Games.
Was ist das hier?
Die Spitze der Pyramide ist durchsichtig. Echt seltsam.
You can see here on the bottom a few pictures of words from the sentence that the girl said. For example, Pyramide and Spitze. They have a colored ending that help you remember the gender of the word. So Pyramide is feminine because it ends with an E, and Spitze is also feminine because it ends with an E. Die Spitze is an apex. The top or apex of the pyramid is transparent. Really strange. Echt seltsam. Die Spitze, the apex, correct. Hello and welcome to LearnGermanGames.com, the only place where you learn German with games live. So if you're not watching this live, make sure to subscribe and click that bell button to get notified the next time we go live. This way you'll be able to chat live with us and react to this crazy game we're playing. Now, regardless of your level, you'll be able to follow because there are subtitles in 2 languages. German is in yellow and English is in blue. Knowing that, let's start. Well, last time we were trying to get into this cave here. We had to solve a puzzle. We did solve the puzzle finally, but we didn't actually go in, so this is our first time. Let's see what we're going to discover in there.
Ich gehe hinein.
Okay.
Ach, schön ist das hier. Was ist das?
Ich schätze mal, dass Sie hier Ihren alten Gott begraben haben.
Ja. Ich gehe hinein. I'm going in. We have a separable verb here. Hineingehen. You can see it from the dashes under the verb. Yeah. So go in. You can see actually that there's a missing E here. This is common in spoken German where the end of a verb is dropped. So ich gehe, you can say, but it's very common to just drop the E as well. Ich schätze mal, dass Sie hier Ihren alten Gott begraben haben. I guess they buried their old god here. Schätzen is to guess in this case. Ja, ich schätze mal. Mal doesn't add any meaning to the sentence. It just makes the statement a bit nicer. Yeah, she could say ich schätze and it would just sound neutral. Yeah. Sie is referring to the people here. I guess the 2 gods are some of them. Ihren alten Gott, their old god. You can see the god here. The word is in blue because it has a masculine grammatical gender. And we also have the other verb, begraben, to bury. You can see the noun grab in it, which is a grave, yeah. And also you notice that the conjugated verb haben is at the end of the sentence. This is because of das. Yeah, whenever you see das in your mind, remember to keep the conjugated verb until the very end. Was gibt es denn noch? Ja.
Es ist dasselbe religiöse Symbol. Nur dieses hier ist eingelassen, wie ein Sockel für etwas.
Es ist dasselbe religiöse Symbol, nur dieses hier ist eingelassen wie ein Sockel für etwas. Dasselbe is the same thing. So it's the same religious symbol. Only this one is embedded like a pedestal or something. You can see the adjective here, einlassen, literally means to run in. Yeah. But if you take it from the context here, it means it's embedded, it's put in, it's run in. Yeah, literally in and let. If you let something in, it's embedded. We also have the important keyword here, Sockel. Der Sockel is the base. Let me show you here the base in the screenshot. She's talking about the thing here. Yeah. You can also notice that Sockel is masculine because it ends with EL, yeah? Sockel. Es gibt auch Kerze hier und hier.
Hier drin gibt's echt so seltsame Formen.
Sie hat recht.
Ich frage mich, was dieses Symbol bedeutet.
Das frage ich mich auch. Hier drin gibt's echt so seltsame Formen. The adjective here ist seltsam. Strange. If you're an English speaker, pay special attention to the pronunciation of the A here. Yeah, it's seltsam with an open A. Yeah, don't say seltsame or something like that, because you can see same looks like English, but it's not. Yeah, it's sam. Seltsam. And drin means inside. So there are really, echt, really such strange shapes in here. Form is a shape. Ich frage mich, was dieses Symbol bedeutet. Bedeuten is to mean, and we also have the verb fragen, to ask. She's asking herself. Ich frage mich, which means I wonder. When you're asking yourself, you're wondering. Ja, ich frage mich, was dieses Symbol bedeutet. What this symbol means, and also because of was here, we have the verb at the end. Gibt es sonst noch was? Ich glaube nicht. Okay, was haben wir denn dabei? Was haben wir denn dabei? Das Ding hier wird funktionieren, glaube ich.
Mann, mein Mund schmeckt nach Verwestem. Oh, hey, du hast meine Steuerschalteinheit gefunden. Das ist fantastisch. Jetzt kann ich dieses Schiff starten und zurück nach Loruna fliegen.
Schön für dich. Mann, mein Mund schmeckt nach Verwestem. So, my mouth, mein Mund, der Mund. Schmecken is to taste, as in, this is how it feels to him. Schmecken. Afterwards, whenever you're talking about smells or tastes, you use nach, because it's never that accurate, yeah? Und verwesen is to rot. Man, my mouth tastes like decay or rotting. Oh hey, du hast meine Steuerschalteinheit gefunden. Das ist fantastisch. Yeah, the secret to long German words is to realize what each part is. You have Steuer from controls, from the verb steuern, to control something. Und Schalter, to switch. Yeah, actually the E is part of the last part. Einheit, unit. Yeah, so it's a control switch unit. Steuer, Schalt, Einheit. You can see the ein in Einheit. This is how you remember that it's unit. Ja. Du hast meine Steuerschalteinheit gefunden. You found my control switch unit. Das ist fantastisch. That's awesome. That's great. Jetzt kann ich dieses Schiff starten und zurück nach Loruna fliegen. Be careful with the two dots here around the U. Yeah, the U becomes an Ü, and the difference is your tongue. You have to stretch it forward. Yeah, zurück. And this is a very nice word to practice this with because you have both sounds. The U and the Ü, U, Ü, U, Ü. Yeah, so it's a nice exercise for your tongue. Maybe if you don't talk a lot in real life, it might be challenging. So you have to move your tongue a lot to do that. Now I can launch this ship and fly back to Loruna. Launch is implied, yeah, starten, even though it looks like to start. It could also mean to take off, which is the meaning here, starten. Also notice how I'm pronouncing it. I'm saying st with a sh because the s comes before a t, yeah? And I'm also opening my mouth on the R. I'm saying Start and not star or Stall. Yeah, like English, Start. Starten. Gern geschehen.
Gern geschehen.
Oh ja, danke, dass du meine Steuerschalteinheit gefunden hast. Ich habe sie beim Absturz verloren und konnte sie nirgendwo finden. Ich habe den Einheimischen ein Bild davon gemalt und ständig wiederholt, bringt mir das, bringt mir das. Nach ein paar Jahren musste ich mich in Kryogenschlaf begeben, hoffend jemand Intelligenteres würde vorbeikommen und es finden.
Yeah, he talks a lot. He talks quite quickly, I know. That's why we go through the sentences again. Gern geschehen. You're welcome. This is a very basic saying that everybody learns as a beginner. Maybe some of you don't know what it actually literally means. It literally means gladly happened. As in, I'm glad this happened. Yeah, the verb here is geschehen. Gern geschehen. Oh ja, danke, dass du meine Steuerschalteinheit gefunden hast. Oh ja, thanks for finding my control switch unit. Ich habe sie beim Absturz verloren und konnte sie nirgendwo finden. Here again we have an example of a missing E at the end of the verb. Yeah, it's very common, you get used to it, especially if you keep watching my videos on Learn German Games. You'll notice I always point this out most of the time, but you'll also notice it on your own. It's very common. Ich habe or ich hab. Ich hab sie, so he's talking about his switch control unit, beim Absturz. Der Absturz is a crash. I hope you noticed the picture while watching. Verloren is to lose. Remember to pronounce the V like an F, yeah, verloren. And also notice how I am stretching the O a little bit when I say verloren. Und konnte sie nirgendwo, nowhere, finden. I lost it in the crash and I couldn't find it anywhere. Ich habe den Einheimischen ein Bild davon gemalt und ständig wiederholt. Bringt mir das, bringt mir das. Der Einheimische is a local person or native, so den Einheimischen meaning the natives. I painted a picture of it to the locals and kept repeating, bring me that, bring me that. Ich habe den Einheimischen, in this case, this is the dative case. You can recognize it from den because you put den whenever we want to use the dative for plural nouns. So to them, I painted, gemalt. This is the verb malen, to paint. Und ständig, constantly, all the time, wiederholt, as in repeated. The verb here is wiederholen, to repeat. Bringt mir das, bringt mir das. Notice how there is a T at the end of bringen. This is because he's giving a command to more than one person. He's talking to all the natives. Ja? Bringt mir das. If you're talking to one person, you just say bring mir das. Nach ein paar Jahren musste ich mich in Kryogenschlaf begeben, hoffend jemand Intelligenteres würde vorbeikommen und es finden. After a few years, I had to go into cryogenic sleep, hoping someone smarter would come along and find it. Cryogenic sleep is like sleep in low temperature. This is what people in science fiction movies, whenever they want to go on a very long journey, they go into this kind of sleep on low temperature, so they don't notice the long journey, yeah, and then it's like a sort of induced coma or something like that, yeah. So after a few years, nach ein paar Jahren, musste ich, here we notice how the German verb and the main clause goes in the second position, yeah, nach ein paar Jahren is the first unit, and this is why we have the subject after the verb, muss ich mich begeben, here we have a reflexive verb, sich begeben, to proceed or to make one's way. Hoffend, so hoping, jemand Intelligenteres, someone smarter or more intelligent, würde vorbeikommen. Vorbeikommen is to pass by. Literally by come. As in come along, pass by und es finden and find it. Bist du der blinde Gott?
Bist du der blinde Gott?
Mann, das ist mir so peinlich. So nannten mich die Einheimischen nach dem Absturz meines Raumschiffs hier und ich habe irgendwie mitgemacht, weil, du weißt schon, Gott.
Bist du der blinde Gott? Are you the blind God? Notice here how even though God has a masculine grammatical gender, the adjective blind only takes an E because we already know from the definite article der that God is masculine. Yeah, so whenever you have a definite article, the adjective always takes only an E unless it's a plural and then you add an N. Mann, das ist mir so peinlich. Man, this is so embarrassing to me. Notice in English I'm saying to me. In German you take the dative whenever you say to me. So embarrassing is peinlich. Keep your mouth open at the end of peinlich. Yeah, that's the CH sound. And to me is the dative mir. So nannten mich die Einheimischen nach dem Absturz meines Raumschiffes hier. Das Raumschiff is a spaceship. Literally space, Raum und Schiff. The S here is the genitive, yeah, meines Raumschiffs. It's like the possessive in English. That's what the locals called me after my spaceship crashed here. Nannten is the past of nennen, to call, as in to name somebody. Yeah, so that's what the locals called me after the crash of my spaceship here. Und ich habe irgendwie mitgemacht, weil du weißt schon. That's a very nice verb here. Mitmachen means to participate, literally with make. When you make stuff with other people, like here, you're playing with us, you're participating, yeah? And we have the GE because this is the past participle, mitgemacht, and it's a separable verb. In the separable verb case, the GE is added after the prefix, not before it. And I kind of went along with it because, you know, du weißt schon, literally, you know already. Again, here we have the dropped E at the end of hab. Yeah, ich habe. Gott. God. So here he put it between quotation marks because they think he's God, but obviously he's not. So he's just using it to his own advantage. Warst du wirklich tot?
Warst du wirklich tot?
Nein, ich befand mich nur in kryogenischem Schlaf und das für 300 Jahre? Wahrscheinlich sind die Einheimischen, die ich hier kannte, längst tot. Irgendwie ist das ganz angenehm. Sie waren doch ein wenig lästig. Um ehrlich zu sein, war das mit ein Grund für meine Krysolation.
Warst du wirklich tot? Tot is dead. Make sure to make the O a bit longer. Were you really dead? Nein, ich befand mich nur in kryogenischem Schlaf. Und das für der Schlaf is sleep as a noun. And we have a reflexive verb here. Sich befinden is to be located or to find oneself. Yeah? So no, I was only in cryogenic sleep and that for 300 Jahre? 300 years? Seufzt. Wahrscheinlich sind die Einheimischen, die ich hier kannte, längst tot. Wahrscheinlich is probably. The way you remember this word is to cut it up again. Wa means true. Shine is from the verb scheinlich, to seem. Something that seems true is probable. Ja, wahrscheinlich sind die Einheimischen, the locals, die ich kannte, die here is referring to the locals, that I knew. This is the past of the verb kennen. Ja, you can see here on the left the letters highlighted in white, so you remember how to conjugate kannte and the preterium and the simple past. Ja, längst tot, as in a long time ago, dead. Sigh. This is seufzt. Ja, seufzen is the sigh. Probably the locals I knew here are long dead. Irgendwie ist das ganz angenehm. Sie waren doch ein wenig lästig. Somehow this is quite pleasant. They were a little annoying after all. Angenehm is pleasant and lästig is annoying. Um ehrlich zu sein, war das mit ein Grund für meine Chrysolation. To be honest, that was one of the reasons for my chrysolation. Remember, this is the deep sleep, yeah? Grund can mean both ground or reason. In this case, from context, it's reason. Language learning becomes a lot easier when you have context all the time. So don't try to learn words separately, randomly. Yeah, always see context, and this will help you have these logical connections in your head and sometimes emotional connections. Yeah. Now there's something here nice for you to remember. Ehrlich zu sein. This is something very useful. Yeah, to be honest. Ehrlich zu sein. While watching, try to say these small sentences out loud with us to help you remember them better. Yeah. Hat dein Schiff irgendwelche Waffen?
Hat dein Schiff irgendwelche Waffen?
Hey, wow.
Da gibt es ein riesiges Monster, das Dörfer zerstört und junge Mädchen frisst. Und es könnte vielleicht sogar schon... Meine ganze Familie könnte... Wie auch immer. Ich muss ein schreckliches Monster fertig machen. Wirst du mir helfen?
Ich meine sicher. Ich schulde dir was. Aber mein Schiff war nicht mit Waffen ausgestattet, soweit ich weiß. Ich guck mal, sobald dieser Schrotthaufen wieder läuft und sag dir Bescheid.
Yeah, this guy talks as if you're watching a video at double the speed. Hat dein Schiff irgendwelche Waffen? Die Waffe is a weapon. It could also refer to just a gun, but in general it's just a weapon. Does your ship have any weapons? This is the plural here, yeah, you can see it from the end. And you can also see it highlighted in white on the left of die Waffe. This is the accusative plural. Hey, wow. Da gibt es ein riesiges Monster, das Dörfer zerstört und junge Mädchen frisst. Und es könnte vielleicht sogar schon... Let's go with these words one by one. Riesig is huge or giant. Ja. Dörfer is the plural of das Dorf, village. And then we have the verb zerstören. Zerstören means to destroy. And whenever you're going to pronounce it, don't destroy the first letter and pronounce it correctly. It's like tss, yeah? Zerstört. The S is like snake, yeah, not like s. Zerstört. Und junge Mädchen. You can see here that Mädchen looks just like the singular Mädchen, but you know that it's plural because of the E at the end of the adjective jung. Yeah? A lot of neuter nouns look the same both in singular and neuter. And you have to look at either the article before them or the adjective to know if this is plural or actually just the context, yeah? And then we have the verb fressen. This is conjugated as frisst. This is the verb you use to eat whenever you're talking about animals, yeah? Es könnte vielleicht sogar schon, it could even be. There's a huge monster that destroys villages and eats young girls, and it might even already... Meine ganze Familie könnte. My whole family could. Wie auch immer, ich muss ein schreckliches Monster fertig machen. Wirst du mir helfen? Schrecklich is terrible. Fertig machen is to finish, as in finish him off. Ja? Anyway, wie auch immer, I have to finish a terrible monster. Will you help me? She means obviously to kill him. Yeah, finish him off. Also notice how the verb helfen takes the dative. Ja, wärst du mir and not mich. Wärst du mir helfen? Will you help me? Ich meine sicher. Ich schulde dir was. I mean sure. I owe you one. Schulden is to owe and it also takes the dative. Ja, dir. Here we have a few letters that are also dropped. So was is short for etwas. Yeah, there's an E missing and also a T missing. It's the same as etwas. Ich schulde dir etwas. I owe you something or I owe you one. Aber mein Schiff war nicht mit Waffen ausgestattet, soweit ich weiß. The verb ausstatten is to equip. But my ship was not equipped with weapons as far as I know. Another useful tidbit here for you to remember, soweit ich weiß. As far as I know. Ich guck mal, sobald dieser Schrotthaufen wieder läuft und sag dir Bescheid. Gucken here is a colloquial way to say sehen, to see. Ja, gucken. And it also has a missing E, just like all the words we saw today. Ich gucke, ich guck, ja. And again, mal here is there just to soften the tone. It doesn't add any meaning. Der Schrotthaufen is a scrap pile. Und Bescheid sagen is to let somebody know. Ja, ich sag dir Bescheid. Also I'll let you know. I'll take a look as soon as this piece of junk is back and running and let you know. So she's calling it a pile of junk, piece of junk, Schrotthaufen. Schrott is junk and Haufen is a pile. Wir befinden uns also in einem Raumschiff. So we are in a spaceship. Again, here we are using the reflexive verb sich befinden. The reflexive part is uns. So literally it says we are located in a spaceship.
Wir befinden uns also in einem Raumschiff?
Nur auf dem oberen Überwachungsdeck. Der Rest davon ist darunter begraben. Ich muss noch ein paar Leitungen reparieren, bevor ich überhaupt erst hineinkomme.
Wir befinden uns also in einem Raumschiff. So we are in a spaceship. Remember that also in German means so, not also. Also. Nur auf dem oberen Überwachungsdeck. Überwachungsdeck, you pronounce the CH with a ch sound and a vibration in the back of your throat because the CH ends after an A. Wach, ja. Only on the upper surveillance deck. Oberen Überwachungsdeck. Der Rest davon ist darunter begraben. The rest of it is buried underneath. Ich muss noch ein paar Leitungen reparieren, bevor ich überhaupt erst hineinkomme. Die Leitung in this context actually means pipe. Yeah, it doesn't mean leadership in this case. Und the whole thing means I have a few more pipes to fix before I even get in. It might actually mean lines as well, as in lines, phone lines, communication lines. Yeah, not literal lines. That could also be the meaning of Leitung. Hineinkommen is the verb hineinkommen, to get in. Was machen alle diese Geräte?
Was machen all diese Geräte?
Das ist das Hauptüberwachungsdeck meines Schiffes. Dieses Zeug scannt hauptsächlich nach Lebenszeichen oder bewohnbaren Welten. Alles, was bei der Mission helfen kann.
Was machen all diese Geräte? Das Gerät is a device, and this is the plural here. Diese Geräte, you can see from the E here, but also the word itself has an E at the end. What do all these devices do? Das ist das Hauptüberwachungsdeck meines Schiffes. Dieses Zeug scannt hauptsächlich nach Lebenszeichen oder bewohnbaren Welten. This is the main surveillance deck of my ship. This stuff mainly scans for life signs or habitable worlds. Hauptsächlich is mainly, and bewohnbar is habitable. Yeah. So hauptsächlich, you might find a bit of a challenge pronouncing that. If you do, try to practice it throughout consecutive days. Yeah, don't practice it in one go. Start with the and, with lich. And when it becomes easy, start adding a few more letters. Yeah, sech on its own. And then you say sächlich, hauptsächlich. Yeah. Lebenszeichen, literally life sign. And the S in the middle is like the apostrophe S, it's like the possessive, ja. Alles, was bei der Mission helfen kann. Anything or everything that can help with the mission. Notice how with mission you say bei and not mit, ja, bei der Mission. Was ist Loruna? Oder was war deine Mission?
Was war deine Mission?
Operation Löwenzahn. Loruna ist langsam gestorben. Dieses sollte uns eine neue Chance in einer neuen Heimat ermöglichen. Stattdessen sind wir hier abgestürzt.
Okay, bis später. We'll continue the conversation next time.
Okay, bis später.
Aha.
Was war deine Mission? What was your mission? Operation Löwenzahn. Operation Dandelion. If you don't know what that is, here's a picture. It's a type of flower. Loruna ist langsam gestorben. Here we have the verb sterben and the form of gestorben, to die. Loruna died slowly. Dieses sollte uns eine neue Chance in einer neuen Heimat ermöglichen. Die Heimat is a homeland. Ermöglichen is to enable or make possible. You can see it from möglich here, which means possible. This should give us a new chance in a new home. In einer neuen Heimat. Here it takes an ER, the indefinite article, because Heimat is feminine and in is in dative, and neun is the adjective that takes an EN because in dative adjectives take an EN. Stattdessen sind wir hier abgestürzt. Abstürzen is to crash. Instead, we crashed here. Stattdessen is instead, and also notice how I'm pronouncing the st, yeah, because the S comes before a T. Stattdessen. Okay, bis später. Okay, see you later. Also here, sp, because the S comes before a P. And that was our game for today. Thanks for watching. Remember to like this video. And if you still have any questions, ask them in the comments below.